It's 3 o'clock. I'm going to call this meeting of the Older Adult Advisory Committee to order. First order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And next, we'll have Adriana do the roll call.
Betty Bishop.
Yes.
Rochelle Fuqua. Jennifer Hamill. Here. Nils Olmholt.
Here.
Suzanne Astash.
Here.
Vito Pianello.
Here.
Phil Randazzo.
Here.
Marcia Relier. Joe Silbernagel. Moira Smith.
Here.
Carol Thompson.
Here.
Barbara Vansickle. Carol Weidenbach.
Here.
Kathy Western.
Here.
Roy Wilson. Carol Weissman. That completes the roll.
Thank you. Next is the adoption of the agenda. I would take a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second
Support.
it.
Making sure she's got that. Any questions, concerns? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next is the approval of the minutes dated March 22nd, 2022. I wasn't at that meeting. I was traveling, having a great time. Thank you all very much. And I know that Commissioner Zinner did a great job in my absence, I'm sure. So I would take a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion.
Who was that? I'm sorry.
Who made the motion? I'll second.
Who made the motion?
Sue.
Oh, Sue. Okay. All those in favor of approving the minutes as printed, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next comes public participation. This is the first opportunity for public participation for those who wish to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes on an item which is on today's agenda. The second opportunity for public participation is for those who wish to speak on any issue, and that's later in the agenda. Anyone wish to speak in public participation? Going once? Going twice? Closing public participation. Next, we have a presentation, and this is something that everyone had sort of requested earlier on when we had our initial discussion, so I'm glad we're able to provide this. And this is the Macomb County Office of Senior Services. Sheila Coate, come on forward.
So, just to get started, our mission is to promote and support aging well in Macomb County. The Office of Senior Services is very focused on that. Our goal is to reach all seniors in Macomb. Certainly we have a population that is more vulnerable and fragile, and that's the population that we usually see in Meals on Wheels, which is one of our largest programs. We serve between about 1,800 meals a day, so it's a large program, but we also contract with AAA for other programs as well. So what I'm going to do first is introduce Nicole Urban. She is our program manager. She's going to get started on the PowerPoint for you and talk about those services and programs, and then I'll jump in at the end and talk about some other things that we're working on in our office. So,
Great.
Nicole?
Members, you have both the PowerPoint on your little video screens and a paper copy, however you feel most comfortable following along.
All right, so we thought we'd talk a little bit about the history and overview of our funding and some of the regulations. So we fall under the Older Americans Act, which is federal law first established in 1965 and is typically reauthorized every 5 years. It was last authorized in 2016, so we are a little bit behind already and being reauthorized in the next cycle here. So we fall under the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and their administration of community living. And the intent of the Older American Act is really a focus on healthy aging, disease prevention, and proper nutrition. At the state level, they've gone through some reorganization, so the new name is currently the Bureau of Aging, Community Living and Supports, or the ACLS Bureau, as you'll see it mentioned throughout the PowerPoint. So that's under the State of Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, and they're responsible for the State of Michigan to interpret the act and to create a service standard for the State of Michigan. So the standards are consistent across the state, but allows each state to individualize the services as best meets the needs of their community residents. And so the state will distribute federal funds to the Area Agency on Aging. And then the state of Michigan also has funding through the Older American Act with state funds that they contribute, as well as the federal dollars. So here locally, we fall under the Area Agency on Aging 1B. There are 16 area agencies in the state of Michigan. They're all private nonprofits that kind of manage the funding. They're required to create an area plan every 3 years. And they also have a competitive bid process. So we're actually in that process right now of applying for renewing our funds. And they also solicit feedback from the community of what programs are most important to the community, so that way they can allocate the funds as the community requests. The only exception to that would be nutrition. Nutrition are specific budget line items in the federal budget. So those monies are distributed based on a funding formula that's developed at the federal level. The area agency is then the ones that enforce the state standards. And so that's done through a lot of different ways. We have monthly monitoring through reports, quarterly reports. We have an annual on-site programmatic assessment, though the last 2 years have been via Zoom because of COVID. And then we also have an annual audit to make sure that what we're doing with the funds are within the service standards of the state. So if you kind of follow along, we have federal funds that come to the state of Michigan, the state contributes, and then these are routed through the ACLS Bureau, through Area Agency on Aging 1B to here at Macomb County, where we are very fortunate that Macomb County General Fund also provides support for the Office of Senior Services, and very specifically for Meals on Wheels and Dining Senior Cell are greatly supported by this county. So along with those, we also have some other local funds, but we also have participants, contributions from participants, donations from the community, and then in-kind support. That in-kind support is not only the volunteers that volunteer their time and their gas for Meals on Wheels and other volunteer opportunities, but it's also the community partners that host us in the community as we're not paying rent, so they donate the use of that space. With the Older American Act funding, some of the things that are unique is that these funds are actually never intended to cover the entire cost of the programs. In fact, the grants require a 15% match, which can be a mix of cash and in-kind. And then the program is actually required to ask for participants to make donations to the program, but we cannot deny service if they're unable to make a contribution. We are always looking to expand for services, so the grants that we provide are very specific in the things that we're allowed to do, and we contract for a specific number of clients and units to be served each year. So if we ever want to expand the services and that's beyond the scope of the grant, we would have to find other funding sources, and then we would track the service to the correct funding source. And then as well, if somebody's ever not eligible for our grants, there's always the opportunity to privately pay to receive the service. We have a list of programs. I know we don't want to run too long, so we'll kind of briefly touch on each of the programs. So Friendly Caller actually developed out of COVID-19 here. So when we first started, COVID first hit our community, we actually outreached to all of our clients to make sure everybody was doing okay and to see if they had any unmet needs. And one of those unmet needs turned out to be they were lonely. And so we started a Friendly Caller program. We don't have any stable funding for this. So it's really volunteer hours that are sustaining this program right now, but we have about 250 seniors that we're calling about once a week or every other week just to call and chat and have a conversation. If they identify any kind of unmet need, we make a referral to another staff person for follow-up. We do have a loan closet here at the county where we offer wheelchairs, walkers, and canes. Those items are all donated, and then we make them available for free to those in the community that request it. Our Community Liaison grant is kind of a hard grant to describe, but really the intent of the program is to help seniors connect them to the benefits and services they need or are eligible for to help remain independent in the community. So our advocates can help with things like the MyBridge application, which are the applications that the Department of Health and Human Services uses through the state of Michigan, and home heating tax credits. Unfortunately, many systems use technology that are beyond the scope of many of the seniors that we interact with. And so rather than letting technology be a barrier, our team goes into their home and we'll complete the applications with them in their home, and we'll even come back and help them submit any kind of requested follow-up documentation. We also try to make referrals to other agencies and nonprofits in the community. So it's certainly never the intention that we're going to do everything for everybody here, but we want to work with our partners to make sure that we're connecting folks to the resources that are available. Our advocates are also trained on Medicare and Medicaid assistance program. So every year during Medicare open enrollment, we have appointments that are made available to our seniors where they can sit down with a trained counselor to review their Medicare Part D plans. Unfortunately, plans can change throughout the year, but the seniors only have one opportunity each year to review their options. In 2018, we actually assisted over 500 individuals and helped them save over $141,000. So a plan that may have been really good this year may not be so good next year. Our Adult Day program is the Golden Berry Adult Day Caring Center located in the Berkulen building, and we partner with Martha T. Berry, who provide the staffing to support that program. And this is considered a respite service for caregivers. So we offer that program Monday through Friday with some transportation available, and we're considered a medical and social model. So all of the staff have minimally are certified nursing assistants, and we have nursing level support available for Martha T. Berry to come over as needed. And we are a dementia-specific program. And we are very proud to share that we are the first adult day program in the world to receive Montessori-inspired lifestyle accreditation for our adult day program. It's not unusual in long-term care or nursing home facilities, but we're the first adult day program to receive this accreditation. And so if you're familiar with Montessori preschool, the focus is helping to empower and enable people to do as much as they can and not look at the disability, but look at the ability that they still have. So we really focus on dignity and what are their interests, and that switching more to participant-driven decisions and actually having the participants lead more activities. So we're finding that participants are more engaged and productive. And then we're also really proud that we are not utilizing pharmaceutical interventions for behavior issues. So we're aware that we got a referral from another adult day program where somebody was having some behavior issues about middle of the afternoon, and the staff there wanted that person to be medicated. Well, we have methods to redirect the behavior rather than asking for medication. Our Handy Helpers program is new in the last couple of years. We repurposed the Chore Services Grant funds to create this program, and it allows for non-continuous assistance with household maintenance tasks. This is probably the most random assortment of allowable services you've ever seen in a grant, but we are happy to be offering this service. It's been really well received by the community. The only requirement is that you be 60 years and older and a Macomb County resident. So we can do things like replacing light bulbs, replacing door locks and faucets. We can do weather stripping around doors. We can do heavy-duty cleaning, which is limited to things like cleaning appliances, cleaning carpets, washing walls, interior windows. Who wouldn't want that? I would like that. We have some safety devices that we're able to install. So there's actually quite a few memory impairment safety devices that we've been approved to do. So things like anti-skull devices or confounding locks that make it harder for somebody to wander from their home. We also have pest control, so we have a contracted pest control company that can come out to the individual's home and do pest control. So we offer general pest control and then rodent control. Also, something that we're building and expanding on is we are doing spring, summer, and fall yard cleanup. So right now, we are taking applications to do exterior window washing, leaf raking, cleaning of flower beds, and trimming of overhanging tree branches. And in the fall, we offer the windows again and leaf raking. This service actually uses volunteers, and it's a great opportunity for groups to come out. So it can be corporations, schools, churches, a service organization. Could be all of you if you'd like to make a day of volunteering. And then our home injury control program is actually managed by community development. And this program is really a fall prevention program. So they're doing things like installing grab bars around the bathtub, shower chairs, and handrails as well. So if folks are interested in that program, there's a different number to contact for them. They also have a temporary modular ramp program. Temporary meaning that the ramp is not permanently affixed to the home, not that it's a temporary need for the individual. However, once that individual no longer needs the ramp, we would be able to remove the ramp and reuse the parts at another home. Grass and snow service is also a service available for Macomb County seniors managed by community development as well. So they offer grass cutting April through October and snow removal November through March. And then we kind of move into our nutrition program. So we have our dining senior style program, which is also often called congregate meals. And so these meals are intended to meet the nutritional needs, but also the socialization for our seniors. They found that social isolation can be as detrimental to your health as smoking half a pack of cigarettes. So we have remained open with our programs, including our congregate program. Right now, a lot of our sites are still offering meals as grab and go. As we know, some of our seniors are not quite ready to stay and dine on site. But we have 20 locations around Macomb County. We're serving about 300 meals per day, and a suggested contribution of $3 per meal. We have currently 20 locations around Macomb County. We'll actually be adding a 21st come June. We'll be adding Fraser Senior Center to our list of partners. And for dining senior style, the eligibility is that you be 60 years and older. Or if you have a married couple where one is 60 and the other is not, they can still attend together and be counted under the grant. Meals on Wheels, I think, is probably our best known program. I feel like I missed a slide. No. So we use volunteers to deliver meals primarily. We do always have some paid routes, but right now it's about 60% of our meals are delivered by volunteers and the other 40% by our paid drivers. It's normally about 75% volunteers. So we're serving about 1,600 lunches per day, and then we also have a couple hundred more seniors that are receiving a second meal, a dinner meal that's served at the same time, that's chilled, intended to be eaten later in the day. During COVID, we implemented a lot of processes to keep our staff, our volunteers, and the seniors safe. And those processes are still in place, so we are delivering to the door. And we do have to verify that our clients are home to make sure that they are present before we leave so they can see or hear them. And we do unfortunately have to ask our drivers not to have any physical contact with our participants. So many of our seniors greet our volunteers with hugs. So it's really hard to tell them that we can't do that right now for their safety. And then in order to receive meals, individuals must also be 60 years old and Macomb County resident, but they also have to be homebound. So that means that they're generally not leaving the home without assistance. They are, of course, able to still leave for doctor appointments, churches, various things, but we're really looking at the frequency that they're leaving and are they needing assistance to do so. And then we're also required every 6 months to verify their continued eligibility through a comprehensive health and nutrition assessment. And at least once a year, we're in the home completing that. Meals on Wheels uses over 700 volunteers for the delivery process, so we're always looking for more. And we also deliver meals on 3 holidays. So we deliver on Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Easter. And then once or twice a year, we'll also deliver a set of shelf-stable meals to prepare them in case we have an unplanned closure. There's a lot that goes into the nutrition of the meals that we provide. So the state standards are very lengthy around here, and they're designed to meet 1/3 of the nutrition recommended daily allowances. We have a registered dietitian that creates and reviews our menus. At our funding source, another registered dietitian reviews and approves them as well. So we have a 3-month menu cycle for lunch and a 6-week dinner menu that repeats. Our contracted kitchens use standardized recipes to ensure proper nutrition and consistency. Food safety for us is number one. We're working with a very vulnerable population. So all meals are produced in licensed kitchens. Our sites are visited by our supervisors to make sure that they're doing everything per food code and all of our standards and policies. We do pull food licenses from the health department, so the health department actually comes out twice a year to each of our locations as well. And wanting to make sure that all of our staff are following proper cooking and holding in accordance too with our Michigan Food Code. So how do people get started? Generally, they're going to call our office. So a senior, a family member, or friend could call our office during the hours of 9 to 4. It's about a 10-minute intake that they'll do over the phone. If somebody besides the senior calls, we are going to call that senior to verify that they want the service. We get a lot of family that want to sign mom and dad up for something, but mom and dad aren't ready for it. And if mom and dad aren't ready for it, they're not going to accept the meal at the door, unfortunately. So we do ask to make sure they have that conversation before they give us a call. And I am going to turn it back over to Sheila.
Thanks, Nicole. Nicole is she keeps things going at our office. She's always coming up with, Sheila, can we do this? Can we do that? And I'm like, okay. We have to figure out how to do it, but we'll do it. So it's not fair that I get to talk about our accomplishments in the Office of Senior Services over the last couple years. During COVID, I think one thing that's worth mentioning is that we were able to provide meals uninterrupted during COVID, right from the get-go. I was out in a truck with another staff person delivering meals. I think we had like a 10-hour day that day, trying to get the meals out. And we couldn't have done it without the support of our executive team and here in the county and the other departments. We had people from Human Resources helping us. Every department jumped in and helped deliver meals. It was incredibly heartwarming to see that sort of effort, and I was really proud to be a county employee at that time because it took everything for us to do it. We had to completely revise our delivery process because we could not have volunteers delivering. We weren't willing to put them at risk, and we didn't want to put our seniors at risk. So that was a huge accomplishment, but it showed me what can be done for our seniors in Macomb County. We developed grab-and-go sites for our seniors. So instead of doing the dining senior style, obviously we couldn't have seniors go to the community centers and have meals. So we completely revamped that program and made to-go meals at various sites throughout the county, which was extremely popular. Our Medicare open enrollment during COVID, we were able to do face-to-face appointments with some safety devices installed, and we were able to help 200 clients, and they saved $38,000, not more. One thing that when I was delivering the meals, I had a lot of questions from the seniors. I'd say, hey, how are you doing? Here's your meal. How are things going? Do you have any toilet paper? No, we don't have any toilet paper. They needed paper towel. So out of that, what we decided to do is I came back to the office and I said, well, let's just start calling. Let's see how our seniors are doing. Let's do outreach calls. So we had people reach out. We had people volunteer from other departments again to call our seniors. And overwhelmingly what they were saying is, I don't have any paper towel. I don't have any hand sanitizer. It's hard for me to get up and wash my hands 5 times a day. So We partnered with our planning department, and they helped us, secure with COVID dollars items that we packaged up for the seniors, and we distributed to over, I think it was 4,000 seniors got care packages, and they had a lot of things in there, laundry soap, toothpaste, hand soap, and they were very grateful for those items. So that was another heartwarming event that took place during COVID. We developed we partnered with Shipt to purchase memberships at half the cost, and we used COVID relief dollars to purchase memberships for our seniors throughout Macomb County. Again, another big hit. We were able to distribute over 5,000 free Shipt memberships. And then we're able to also provide a second year of free memberships for those individuals. So they're on their second year now using those memberships. Some recent accomplishments, and again, I hate to take credit for this because it was my staff that really got these things going. We purchased, I believe, 90 tablets and uploaded software to distribute to our volunteers and our paid drivers to use when they're out in the community delivering meals. So in the past, what we had to use was paper route sheets, and they would have to check off that they delivered to Mrs. Smith, that, and she got one meal. Excuse me. Now we have tablets that communicate directly with our electronic system, Care Advantage, that holds all our data for our seniors in it, their address, their phone number, what services they have. And the drivers are able to actually punch in that they served the meal, that Miss Smith was home, and that she received the meal. That goes right into our database. We're able to track those meals, what time they were delivered. It's incredible. It's been a huge project for us, training our volunteers to use those tablets and our staff. It's been a great asset to our program, and the best thing about it is if a senior is not home or doesn't answer the door, that information gets directly back to our office. We always have made follow-up calls to check on that senior. Are you okay? You didn't answer the door for your meal. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that we've found that a senior was unwell. We call their emergency contact. The emergency contact checks on them, and something has happened that they're able to get emergency care. So when we say it's more than just a meal, it definitely is more than just delivering a meal to our seniors. We purchased a volunteer portal scheduler. So now our volunteers have access to an electronic system that allows them to schedule time to deliver meals, to change their schedule, to sign up for a special meal. That, again, has saved so much staff time and so much labor. It's really been a huge, and believe it or not, our volunteers like it. We were kind of concerned because it's all electronic, they have to go into this portal, but it's been incredibly useful, and I think they really have enjoyed using it. So that's another of our recent accomplishments. Of course, Nicole talked about our Adult Day, Golden Berry. We earned that accreditation. That's one of our shining stars, is our Dementia Day Program for our seniors. The caregivers are very grateful that they have some place to take their loved ones, and they know that they're safe and cared for. Again, another underfunded program. We only have so many slots available, and that's an area that we would love to grow had we had more funding. Our Friendly Caller program, again, we would like to grow that program, but that is not funded at all. We're using volunteers to fund that program, so that's something that we would like to grow in the future. So I'd like to talk a little bit about funding, like what can funding do? So as Nicole mentioned, AAA 1B has very strict standards. For example, our Handy Helper program. You can only do A, B, C, and D. It doesn't allow us to pay for things like helping that senior take the garbage out, maybe moving furniture in their home. There's a whole list of things that seniors ask us for that we have to say, no, I'm sorry, it's not covered under our grant, and we're unable to help you with that. So that's, it's heartbreaking when we have to tell them no, because their goal is to age in place, to stay in their home, live in their home comfortably, as they should, right? So, one of the things that the county is looking at is renovating the Berkulen building, which we see as a great benefit for our seniors. Right now, I don't know if all of you have been to that building or not, but it's a very long walk from that parking lot into the Office of Senior Services. So, which, prohibits seniors from visiting us or stopping in and asking questions. Our goal really is to create an accessible and inviting environment in which seniors of all ages can obtain resources, gather, learn, dine, and socialize in that building. So we've talked a lot about what are some options, what would we like to see happen in that building. And one of the things that we've discussed is the addition of a production kitchen for our Meals on Wheels, which would be a huge project, but so beneficial for us. Right now, in order to deliver meals, we contract with 4 production kitchens throughout the county, businesses that have overhead that we're paying for. If we ran our own production kitchen, it would cost that overhead, it would cut the cost of that administrative overhead. It would allow us to control the quality of the meals that we're serving. Sometimes we have trouble, the production kitchen doesn't send, their meal at the proper temperature, or they forget to send something along with the meal. If we had our own kitchen, we could control all of that and have better oversight and governance over that. I would love to see added classrooms for seniors in that building, abuse prevention, computer literacy, resource information, and more. We could partner with Macomb Community College. We could conduct classes there. Right now, I go to Macomb Community College and assist with the more program there for seniors, but I would love to have that in our building. It would be so much easier for us to be able to provide the resources and the services to seniors. It would be a great benefit for us. So again, we'd like to really design a senior-friendly building, reduce the walking for them, put in lever door handles, improve lighting and signage. Would love to have a dining area there at the county building, kind of like the dining senior style, where seniors could pop in and have some lunch. We always have activities associated with those lunches. We need to expand our storage area. Again, that space that we have is very limited there. We hand out shelf-stable food boxes a couple times a year for seniors. We have no place to store them. We have no place for them to be delivered. So it's really a burden for us to get those boxes out to our seniors. We could develop or put in a drive-through distribution area for our seniors. We have seniors that come in and pick up Ensure. They come in and pick up food stable boxes. So to have a drive-through area for our seniors to pick up those items would be a huge asset to us. Our reception area, again, is there really is no sitting area. So seniors, when they come in, we would love to have a space for them to sit where we can interact with them and engage with them. We don't have any private meeting area for seniors, so if a senior comes in and they need to talk to somebody, they might be having a hard day, they might be just lonely, they may need resources, we have no private areas where we could meet with them. For our adult day program, we've dreamed about this, I think, Nicole longer than I have, in our dreams, to have a secure, safe area for our dementia clients to go outside, get fresh air, sit and be safe, and enjoy the weather. So that's another renovation that we would love to see in that building. And create more separation of space in their area, lower the ceiling for better acoustics for them, have some space where they can go to sort of a quiet room. With dementia, there tends to be people that become agitated. They want to go home. We've had occasions where they've tried to leave, and it's been difficult because the space isn't conducive to holding them safely and comfortably and not scaring them. So we'd love to redesign that space for them. And improve, some storage for activities, and the shower area is in bad need of improvement. So the next subject, when we're talking about funding, we talk about millages. 63 out of the 83 counties have adopted senior millages. Our senior population in Macomb County is growing. 39% of the residents are 50 and older, so that's inclusive of both caregivers and vulnerable aging seniors. In fact, there are currently more seniors in Macomb County than school-age children. There is a chronic wait list for many senior services, such as household chore, personal care, homemaking, home repair, caregiver respite. As I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of programs that we could expand and grow if we had additional funding. We recently, with general fund dollars, were lucky enough to hire a case manager. She just started about a month ago, and it's been beneficial for the seniors who need additional ongoing support. Our community liaison program is limited in scope and amount of services. All of our grants are limited in amount and scope. So in order to reach more seniors and provide more services, we need to look at possibilities for additional resources and funding. So what is possible with added funding? Obviously, we could add new programs to our office. We could do abuse prevention. We could expand our home maintenance. We could add personal care services. One of the things that I know personally with my dad when he got older was getting him to doctor's appointments, because there isn't a lot of door-to-door transportation. So getting him in the car, in the vehicle, in and out at the doctor's office was left to me and primarily my older sister. My younger sister was battling ovarian cancer during that time, so we would be on the phone every night. Hey, Lisa, can you take Dad? He's got an 11 o'clock with the kidney doctor, and I'll take him to the eye doctor at 1 o'clock. And then, you get Dad in the car and you get him out of the appointment, and he's like, honey, how about let's stop for lunch? Have you eaten lunch yet? And I'm thinking, well, I have a meeting in an hour and I need to get back. And I would have loved to spend that time with my dad, in a different way other than shuffling him in and out of the car and getting him to appointments. So if that was a service that we could offer and include in our programming, I think that would benefit obviously more than just, my family. I know that other families are in that same position. So that's all we have for today. I'd be happy to answer any questions or get some feedback from all of you. Hi.
You used to do meals at Owen Jack's on the south end of Warren.
Yes.
And it seems like all the services for the seniors, if you're south of 11 Mile, you're cut off.
Okay.
And there's no meals for them, no transportation for them. There's nothing.
Yeah,
And how do we go about getting Owen Jack's open back up to give meals?
Yeah.
Or another facility where they could come? Because right now, they'd have to go 4 miles each way
Yeah.
for a meal.
Yeah, I think the problem with Owen Jack's is it's not open. They're
Yeah.
not letting us come back. But I'll let Nicole.
The Owen Jack's, the last I heard, they were not open 5 days a week, and we really needed 5 days to resume. But we're also located at Centerline Park Towers, which is at 10 Mile in Van Dyke, so just a mile down the road. We do try to be very thoughtful to make sure we have sites that are spread out around the county, and we have quite a few that are particularly in the south end of the county.
Do you have a list of those? Because I'm out of a church at 9 in Van Dyke. We do a lot of outreach there. And we have a lot of seniors that, they don't have cars, they don't have transportation. And when you say, well, it's only another mile, when you're on foot and you're 65, 70 years old and you have snow, it's hard.
Yeah, if transportation is a challenge and they're homebound, perhaps Meals on Wheels would be a good service for them. But if you go to our website, macombgov.org/seniors, on the dining senior style page, it has a list of all the locations and their dining times.
Right, they made comments on how they missed the time of fellowshipping, you know.
Yeah, it's certainly our intention to resume that site.
Thanks. Any other questions?
Any others? It's very quiet for this group. Well, I have a question. So in the Meals on Wheels and the congregate meal sites, do we have provisions for dietary needs, whether they're kosher or halal or vegetarian?
That's a great question. That's another funding issue. So because we have very specific amounts that we can spend on those meals, those are cost additional, they can become expensive. So I think it says in the PowerPoint, it talks about, with added funding, we could expand the choices of meals. We want to be able to provide that. Gluten-free, vegetarian, things like that are important for our seniors. It's good nutrition, but that goes back to the funding issue.
So do all the seniors have to be pre-qualified before any of these services are offered to them?
They need to call, yes, for example, Meals on Wheels or Handy Helper, they call our office and we do, like Nicole said, a brief intake over the phone, and then we direct them to the proper program. So then they'll get, for Meals on Wheels, someone will do an assessment, a more in-depth assessment to determine are there any other needs that they have. So a lot of times, they're saying, well, I just need a meal, but, once we do the assessment, we identify 3 other needs that they may have. They may need help with their Medicare enrollment. They may need help with benefits, veterans benefits, connecting and linking them to resources. So again, that goes back to the case management concept, that if we were able to expand that case management, we would be able to do more of those type of in-home assessments and provide more services.
And financially also, do they have to qualify?
There is no
in any way?
income requirement for any of our programs, no.
Excuse me, you talked about added financial monies. So you're receiving monies now?
We receive grant dollars and we receive general fund dollars from the county that helps support the programs that we operate. But it's limited in amount and scope. So we get those dollars through AAA, 1B. We compete for those dollars every 3 years through a grant cycle. And so they only have so much money to distribute. We take that pot of money, we put that into the programs and provide as many services as we can with the dollars that we receive.
And you can receive money from anybody out there in the public, correct?
In terms of donations, yes. Yes, we do receive donations, yes.
Okay, because wouldn't you benefit if it gets out to the public, like you're
We
presenting
try.
it here?
Yeah, we definitely try, but advertising is a cost as well. So we do advertise, we do put information out there about Meals on Wheels and so forth. But yeah, we don't advertise for donations though. Donations come in as, you know, on our website.
Because there is a lot of big corporations out there.
We have received some donations from some corporations and businesses, which we're always grateful for. And I think Myers, we received some donation from them this year. So yes, we always welcome donations.
Yeah, because senior citizens, you know, people, that's real. It's not the phone call, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, you have something real.
Yeah.
And you're over in Elizabeth Road?
Yes. Yep. In the
Okay, so-
Berkulen building, Suite 6.
In the Veterans Affairs office, they're still over there
Yep.
too?
Yep.
Okay. And then, did you ever talk to anybody in the Veterans Affairs over there?
Just this morning, Laura Rios. I
Okay.
talk to her all the time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We work very closely together. Yeah.
Okay.
She's a wonderful
Right.
director and she does great work.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know other people over there
Yeah.
very well,
yeah.
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 And so you talk about financial, because a lot of the veterans halls, we'll call them, the VFWs or the AMVITs and American Legions, you know, there's a lot of people in there in the organizations that want to get out there and help. They know how to get money too. But they need that reason. And that's why I was wondering if you did
Yeah.
talk to the veterans. 'Cause
Yeah,
you,
we do.
You could blow this rate up
Yeah. Yeah.
with the county. You're doing a great thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great program.
Yep.
And it's kind of quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. We try not to be quiet. You're welcome.
One of the things I'm going to remind this committee of our purpose, which is for you to be ambassadors in the community to talk about what services are offered, but also to go out and bring us feedback. And so the county has a dedicated millage for veterans, which has made a tremendous impact on the kinds of programming we can do and the kind of services we can offer. She's not going to say that, but I'm going to say that. There's no reason we couldn't have a small millage aimed at senior services that could provide a steady source of income that would allow the expansion of a number of these programs. That's not going to happen until there's some community support out there. So having you go back, do that second part of your job, which is to go back to your various organizations and community groups and start talking about this. The point at which it feels like a senior millage could go on the ballot and be passed is when it's going to be proposed. People don't want to propose something like that isn't, going to see the light of day, because people are going to go, oh no, we already pay too much of taxes. So you need to communicate back out what kind of services are offered, what kind of services could be offered, and would people pay a few dollars more in taxes a year to support seniors in this community. And I think that's an important conversation for everyone to have as we move forward. And I have one other question. I was out speaking at a senior group, senior housing living building the other day, and a gentleman was in need of a wheelchair. His is broken. And so I referred him to the lending closet. And it got me thinking, how do you get durable medical equipment into this lending closet? And is that something a group or an organization could take on as like send us all the equipment you don't need anymore and we'll give it to the lending closet. I wasn't sure how that worked.
Yeah, usually we'll get, people will call us and donate. They'll have a loved one that unfortunately passed away, and they'll say, can you use this equipment? And they'll drop it off for us, or we'll arrange to pick it up and store it. The problem is our storage closet is this big. So, storage is, that's another program we'd love to expand. But again, with that building renovation, if we had adequate storage, we could really solicit more donations in terms of that type of equipment. Right now, we kind of keep it on the down low a little bit because we wouldn't have any place to put it. So that's one of the problems. But that's we have people all the time coming in and borrowing, or we'll get a cane or a walker. And I actually had the case manager take one out to an individual and drop it off because he didn't have one and was homebound and needed something to get around his house. So it's a great program. Yep.
No, it is a great program. Every
Yeah.
time I go to speak at
Yeah.
a senior group, that's
Yeah.
the one program they really want to know about.
Yes, yes.
They have
Yeah.
trouble, I will tell you, they have trouble with the Ship It program because a
Yeah.
lot of folks living in senior housing don't have access to computers.
Right.
And so they
Yeah.
can't really do the Ship It
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
They would like to, but they can't.
No,
So-
there's definitely gaps in services, and that's one thing that I'm always talking about with my staff is let's identify where those gaps are, try and get grant dollars out there somewhere to support the program. Our Friendly Caller program is a perfect example. It's unfunded at this point in time, and we're doing everything we can to keep it going, but that's that loneliness and that isolation, especially with COVID, really came to light. Mental health services is, seniors, in my opinion, are severely underserved in the mental health system. We see it all the time where a senior, we know something's going on, but to connect them to services, we don't have the resources. So I could go on and on and on about the gaps in services, but that'd probably take a whole nother presentation. So
Let me offer one more thing I've heard
Sure.
talking to seniors.
Yeah.
They like the idea of the friendly caller, but they're a little suspicious of who's going to be calling them
Correct.
and what are they going to talk about and that sort of thing. So some sort of disclaimer or description that's a little more clear.
Okay.
That says these are community volunteers and
Okay, that's helpful.
your neighbors
Yep.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Because the senior scams are rampant. And so
oh, for sure. Yeah.
they're
yeah.
worried that someone calling them may
Yeah.
not be a good person.
Actually,
So-
we're applying for a new grant through AAA for abuse prevention this cycle. So we're hoping to be awarded that grant and be able to work on that. But you're absolutely right. That's a definite fear of our seniors.
Go ahead, Kathy.
Hi, Sheila.
Hi, Kathy.
When you become aware of grants, or even before that, grant finding and grant writing is an art and a science in and of itself.
Yep.
Who do you have who's the champion of finding and writing grant applications for you? It sounds like you're trying to do this all your own.
We are. Yeah, actually, Nicole and me are our office grant writers. So if something pops up and we see it, we're like, okay, well, I guess we're going to stay late tonight and try and apply for this grant. And we've been awarded several small grants. Actually, the Friendly Caller program, I think it was $5,000. Yeah, a small grant that we were able to keep it going for a while with that grant. But grants are wonderful, but there are lots of reporting requirements with some of the grants. It's labor intensive, as you know. So having the staffing resource to apply to those grants is difficult, and the time, the labor involved in that. So.
Well, I would add that one of the purposes of this group is not just to go back to our home communities and amplify the voice of someplace like the Macomb County Senior Services, but our mission is to advise the Macomb County Board of Commissioners as to what we see as things that are needed for seniors. And I would think that there would be support within this group to say to our Board of Commissioners, you know, these are some glaring things that we see that our own Department of Senior Services need. They need more voice. They need a champion to advocate for filling those gaps, and they certainly need some public relations and some grant finding and grant writing. I see a lot of that happen on the county level. I see personnel tasked with the responsibility to do that, but I see none of that focused on our senior services. So perhaps this is a recommendation this group would like to make to the Board of Commissioners.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Anything else? Oh, over there, Suzanne.
Putting a little pressure with the mayor and the board and Warren, if we were to get Owen Jacks available, would we contact Nicole or you?
Either
We'd like
one.
to get the meals going, and you would like to do it if it's available.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so I'm not putting you out if that's not.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're always looking for new dining sites throughout the county to make it more accessible to the seniors in the community. So absolutely, yeah, we're definitely on board with that.
Anything else? I just want to make sure people know how to contact you. The Office of Senior Service is the last page of your handout with the website and the phone number and the email address.
Great.
I really want to thank you very much, Sheila, for coming.
Absolutely.
And both of you for coming and spending time with us and explaining what it is you all do and hearing from us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Appreciate it. Have a good day. Thanks.
Thank you very much. All right. Next on the agenda, number 8, is the Senior Volunteer of the Year. So the Macomb County Board of Commissioners recognizes recognizes volunteers, and this group came up with the idea that we should identify a Senior Volunteer of the Year. And so we are in this process right now. So you have before you the information on 5 finalists. I had the staff go through and look for people that had been nominated by more than one organization and who had a specific sort of senior bent to them, and they came up with these 5. All the rest of the the volunteer nominees will be recognized on Thursday night, as will this person. But we get to select, it's our job to select one of these 5 to receive the Senior Volunteer of the Year award. So I hope you've had a chance to look through these applications from these 5. And the way we're going to handle voting is that we're going to go take a roll call vote of everybody that's here. And Adriana will call off your name and you say which one you're voting for. And then if we have a majority in any one of these, then that will be the person. If not, we'll drop off the person with the least votes and have a second vote till we sort of get to a consensus. Everybody understand and ready to do this?
I have a question.
Sure.
I was wondering if we could have,
Can you push your button?
there we go. If we could have a male and a female Senior Volunteer of the Year.
We at this point are only charged with picking one.
Okay,
Everybody else is also going to be recognized.
Okay.
But this is like a special designation.
well, I'm just going to have to just narrow it down for my vote
You're just
then.
going to have to narrow it down and make a choice.
Okay, all right.
All right, I will have everybody understand what we're doing. So we're going to call your name. You give your first choice. And then we will see where we're at with that, and if we don't have a consensus, then we will take out the lowest vote getter and do it again until we arrive at somewhere. All right, Adriana?
Okay, we'll start with Betty Bishop.
Can you hit your button, the button on the base here? There you are.
BFW Post 7573. Am I on the right page?
Mr.
Godowski, it looks like.
Godowski. Is that who you're,
Is it what?
is that who you're voting for, Mr.
Yes.
Godowski?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Jennifer Hamill.
That would be Stanley Gadowski.
Okay. Nils Omholt.
Michael Manchek.
Suzanne Astosh.
Stanley Godowski.
Vito Pianello.
Michael Banchuk.
Phil Randazzo.
Boy, that's a rough one for me when I sit here looking at this veteran over here. I'm sorry, Mr. Silvers?
I don't have that one, Phil.
Oh, man. Hold on. I'm sorry. I took the name off the bottom.
Oh, that's okay.
Let me see. Stanley Godowski.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
No, that's fine. Moira Smith.
Stanley Godowski.
Carol Thompson.
Stanley Godowski.
Carol Weidenbach.
Michael Manchik.
Kathy Western.
Shirley Lydecker.
And Chair Matuzik.
Mike Manchek.
Okay. So we have, let's see, 4 for Mike Manchek, 1 for Shirley Lydecker, and 6 for Stanley Godowski.
All right. Stanley Godowski it is. That's great. They were all impressive applications. I mean, people do so many amazing. Okay. They were all impressive applications. People do so many amazing things for their communities. It's great. So, all right, I will be around Thursday night to present him with his award as Senior Volunteer of the Year. That's great. All right, now I wanted to bring your attention to it's the last page of your packet. One that looks like this. The Senior Action Week is May 9th through the 13th. And traditionally in the past, people have gone to Lansing to meet with legislators, learn about different kinds of issues. I haven't done that for the last couple of years. This year we're sort of doing they're doing a hybrid version of this. Some people are going to Lansing. People are welcome to do that if they would like. But we thought it might be nice to get together as a group and participate in the Zoom, the live stream Zoom with our legislators. So on Wednesday, May 11th at 11 a.m., we're going to meet together in the conference room over here. It has really good video stuff, so we can all be together and participate if we want. We'll serve you a light lunch, and we'll be able to talk and listen to our legislators about what senior issues are coming. So if you can come, if you would please let Adriana know so we can do lunch thing. But you're free to drop in, stay a little bit, stay all as long as you want, or just do a drive-by if you will. But it will be a good opportunity for us as sort of a group. We're not going to Lansing, but we could still get together and hear what our legislators have to say and offer comment back to them. So just let Adriana know if you can attend. I'll be there. And it'll be sort of fun to do this together. Usually you're stuck at home doing these Zooms with your one little computer. So this would be kind of nice to do a hybrid, a group effort. So,
Excuse me. Could I get them hours? Is the date correct again? I missed out on
I'm
the
sorry.
hours. Yeah.
We're gonna meet at 11. I don't know how long it's going to go, but they're live streaming the whole event, but that'll be when they'll have a panel with legislators.
Thank you.
And like I said, it's the last page of your packet. So you got a flyer on it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, next is our second public participation. The opportunity for public participation is for those who wish to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes on any issues. Any public participation? Going once, going twice? All right, and then last is our members' comments. I understand last time someone asked about English as a second language programs for someone they were assisting with. I don't know if anyone here asked this question or it came up from someone else. I did investigate. We used to have a sort of one shop that did literacy and English as a second language. That program has disbanded. And what I learned was somewhat disappointing that it is now totally decentralized. The best way, if you have someone who needs help with English as a second language, is to contact the community ed in your local school district. And that to me was not a very satisfying answer, because each community ed program sort of does different things. But there is not one central resource. The community college does it as well, but that actually they charge you money to do that. So that's what I investigated and found out. So, comments, ideas, questions, thoughts? Anybody have anything? If not, then I would, one last announcement, I forgot. You have a little flyer here. You wanted to make sure you were invited to the Memorial Day ceremony. This one is up in Shelby Township. And if anyone would like to go, Mr. Randazzo brought this to our attention. You are more than welcome. And I hope if you don't get to that one, you'll participate in one somewhere around the county. If you have not ever gone, it's my personal opinion, if you have not ever gone to a Memorial Day service at one of the national cemeteries, I highly recommend it. They take place not on the Monday, they usually take place on the Sunday. And they are quite inspiring and moving. I've yet been to one. I tend to go with my family to the Custer National Cemetery over on the west side of the state, and they are always moving. So I encourage you to do that. Then you can go on Monday to your local one. But anything else?
Whitechapel Cemetery also has a very nice program. And they clean the graves if you want to do that too, so it's very nice.
Nice. All right, anything else for the good and welfare? If not, I would accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And I'll see you next time.